Hello, this is Angi Burns, the owner and publisher of the Burns Team City Lifestyle, and welcome to City Lifestyle with Angi Burns. I personally run the Burns Team City Lifestyle, and we own the Allen, Plano, Rockwall, and Cross Timbers publications, but there are over 15 City Lifestyle publications in the DFW area and over 250 nationwide. We love to celebrate all of the amazing things that are going on in the DFW area, specifically where we have our luxury publications, and share them with our listeners so that you know the best-in-class businesses, the organizations making a difference in our community, and the individuals who are making an impact on our residents here in our area. Hello, and welcome back to City Lifestyle with Angi Burns. We are here today with Sarah Naylor, who's an amazing realtor out in the Rockwall area. So we're going to talk today about some of the things that are going on in the crazy world of real estate. Okay. So tell us a little bit about you and your brokerage out in Rockwall, sure, and then we'll get started on some of the fun stuff.
So yes, I'm an agent and have been for about 11 years now. So it's been a seller's market the whole time, and now it's a buyer's market. So having to learn how to navigate that. I'm with Regal Realtors, which is, we used to kind of say a small little boutique brokerage in the Rockwall area, but they've expanded and they're covering all of the metro and they're going into larger markets as well. So really well known in Rockwall specifically, but definitely getting their name out there in all of the DFW area.
And I don't think we can even call Rockwall a little space anymore. Rockwall County is blowing up. It's amazing what's happening out there. So if you haven't been out to the Rockwall area, go check it out because it does not look like it used to.
No.
I remember probably 10 years ago, I would go out and I would cross the bridge, and it was very much, actually it was 13 years ago when I was looking at wedding venues, because I looked at the Hilton at the Harbor because it's gorgeous for weddings. And so I was out there, and it was the only thing that was out there was that Harbor District. And then whenever we were looking at launching Rockwall City Lifestyle, we went out that way, and I was like, oh,
wow. Yeah.
I was like, there's a lot more here.
Yes.
And that Heath area is just gorgeous. I think there's 5, 6 different golf and yacht clubs.
There are definitely golf communities out there, very much so.
So if you're into golf, boating, yacht clubs, pickleball,
eating,
we
have great
food,
restaurants.
Everything, check out Rockwall because it is blowing up.
Yes.
And with that, it's becoming a very desired location for families to come out there. The school district has grown tremendously. I know they now have Rockwall and Rockwall Heath plus Roy Cities right there.
Yes.
So tell us what you're seeing from people who are moving into the area, what they're looking for, and why Rockwall is the right place for it.
So Rockwall, you're right. It used to be you cross the bridge, that Lake Ray Hubbard Bridge, and you thought, you could breathe and you're out of the metro. And that's not happening anymore because now Rockwall's kind of become encompassed in the metro.
But people still won't cross the bridge.
No, we call it our island. We don't want to cross that bridge unless we have to. In fact, if you're going to come and see it, like Angi said, please do use Waze because it may reroute you because of something that's happening on that bridge. But the beautiful thing about Rockwall is it is so family oriented. It's where people like to go and know that the kids are going to have sports. The schools have great programs for all their kids, and that there's just a community environment about the place, and that's what we love. I mean, we have a lot of franchise businesses out there, but there's also a lot of mom and pop, and we really, really like to support local. And so that's one of the things that my heart's drawn to is just making sure that those small business owners are well known, received, and welcomed into our community. So it's very much a place where you want to go dig your roots in and stay.
That's honestly what I've noticed. One of the first things that Brittany, who's our sales manager out in the Rockwall area, when she and I first started really getting involved in Rockwall through the chamber and through the different networking organizations, we noticed that everybody really is Team Rockwall. Yeah. It's not competition, it's collaboration. How can we work together to make our community better? And I love that everybody's so supportive. When we have events like our happy hour out there gets 100 people every month. And I know you also run a networking group out there. If you want to talk a little bit about that, you can do that. But then you also do community events that get great attendance. And that's something you don't always see in some of the more established communities that have been around forever, that are kind of aging and regentrifying at this point. Is there's so much excitement about the growth in Rockwall.
And that's unique. I mean, we do support. If you come in and you start a business and you let the world know about it, that sphere of networking within ourselves grows just organically. And it's probably better than anything you could do to throw money at advertising.
Right.
Just the word of mouth goes really far in Rockwall.
Yeah.
So if you have a great reputation, you will do well starting something. But networking in Rockwall, we like our homeboys. We like the people that have organically been there, but I've only been there 15 years. So it's not like you can't move and become a part of the Integral Society, but it is something that once you dig in, you just enjoy meeting more. And that opens up another level of meeting more and more people. As far as networking goes, kind of how I got into that was I think I had to do some advertising marketing, and I went to a local print shop and I had a person running an errand for me, and they were picking up the whatever I was getting printed, and our county judge was in that place. And so when my friend was picking up the supplies, they happened to say it was for Sarah Naylor, and the county judge was like, "Oh, Sarah Naylor, I know her." And my friend was like, "You know Sarah Naylor?" And he goes, "Everybody knows Sarah Naylor." I didn't know this. So when my guy came back with the supplies, he's like, "Did you know that the county judge knows who you are?" And I was like, "Really?"
You're like, "Do I know who the county judge?"
Well, I didn't know who it was, but I didn't know he knew me. And so I had a big event that was coming up for the first time ever. And this friend had said, "Why don't you reach out to him and see if he'll help you promote it?" And I thought, why not? He knows who I am.
Yeah.
So I did. I reached out to him and I said, "Hey, I've got this event and it's going to help first responders and it's going to raise awareness for things that we can do for them." And he was like, "Come on into my office and let's talk." So I went into his office like the next day, I don't remember. And he just gave me all this time and all these ideas. And then he said, "The sheriffs need to know about this." And he's like, "I'm going to call the sheriff." And he calls the county sheriff.
Oh my goodness.
And so the next day, the county judge and I are sitting together with the sheriff talking about this event. And so that was just mind-blowing to me, that if you have the right heart in Rockwall and want to do the right things, that people want to support you, want to let everybody know about it, and then it just grows from there. So that's honestly been eye-opening to me to realize if you do the right thing, you are rewarded in Rockwall.
Yes. And we have seen that tenfold already just from being out there. Everybody has been so nice and genuinely nice. Like, people really do care about the success of your business. And it's not just, "Hi, here's my business card." It's, "Hi, how are you?"
Yep.
How are things going? How's the wife? How's the kids? How's the, all the things that you typically don't see at a business environment is really, it's more personal out there.
Absolutely.
And I know your group, RASPA, which is Rockwall Area Small Business Alliance, meets once a month. And it is a much more intimate get to know you as a person, not just a business owner. Because we always say you do business with those you know, like, and trust. Absolutely. And so this is a great opportunity to get to know the businesses in the area. We have more fantastic information coming your way, so stay with us, because City Lifestyle with Angi Burns will be right back. At City Lifestyle, we only partner with best-in-class businesses. And a lot of times people will ask me, well, what does that mean? We do a very rigorous vetting process for anyone who is allowed to advertise in our publications. We only partner with people who are 4- and 5-star businesses and who have great reviews with Better Business Bureau, have all of their licenses and certifications up to date. We want to make sure that our readers and listeners are only being recommended businesses who are going to go above and beyond, so you know you are getting a best-in-class business. Tell us a little bit more about how people can get involved in that. Sure. and about RASPA.
RASPA blew up just about like this event did. It was a few years ago that I had been a part of a really small, maybe 12 people would meet for a few weeks, and then you'd go to another group. But my groups tended to stay the same because we liked each other so much. And so I thought, well, I wonder if we could do this on a bigger level and reach and impact more people. And so I started this Facebook page first called Rockwall Area Small Business Alliance.
Which you can join.
By the way. It's an easy, there's no questions to join the group. And the page itself, within a couple of weeks, had several hundred. And I had only invited maybe 10 people. So it was just blowing up. And then we thought, well, we need to get together, and monthly seemed to make more sense because we're relatively busy and we want to go to everybody else's group. So we do meet the second Tuesday of every month at a local church called Lakeshore Church off 205 in Rockwall. And we have lunch. And so the first 30 minutes of our group is eating, just fellowship, and just have fun. And then the last hour of the group, we either have a speaker And we try to make it a high level to where everybody there can benefit from some sort of marketing or artificial intelligence, or we talked about cryptocurrency. Anyway, so that doesn't always happen. But if not, what we're doing is a speed dating is what we call it. And it's organized speed dating. You will have a card. It will tell you exactly where to go. And it makes sure that you don't see the same people at each table as you rotate. And so you're spending about a minute talking about yourself. And we really try to make sure you don't just do your elevator pitch, which that's great if that's what you want to do and you're really good at it. But we really want your personality to be what shines through. And so you may talk about your dog. You may talk about what brought you to Rockwall. You may talk about how you started your business. And at each table, you may decide, I'm going to do a different pitch every single time. Because what I've learned the first time I did one of these was when I left every single table, it wasn't that there was a business or industry that I felt like I've got to connect with that person. It was a personality. It was there's something about that person. There's a spark about them. I just want to know them as a person. And so you just get that little glimpse of who they are. And then we really encourage you to go spend time during that next month having lunch, breakfast with them and learning about them. And then I even still try to tell people, don't just talk about your business then, because what you do may be great, but honestly, the story behind what you do is what really makes people remember you and then knows, likes, and trusts you well enough to send you out as a referral. And that's what you're trying to build is, I like the person genuinely. I know they're not going to want to do me wrong, and they're going to respect my reputation enough to do the right thing for these people.
And that's actually how we met.
Yes, exactly.
Because I visited RASPA, and then I was like, she seems like a very cool person. I want to learn more. So we went to lunch. And then I learned not only about you as a business owner, but your obsession with pickleball, which you still have to teach me how to play pickleball. And then your history of why the first responders were so important to you with the event. And I would love for you to share a little bit more about like where you came from and your career before real estate that took you to where you are now and how you serve that specific community of first responders and even your Easter event that I know you've done a few times. So share a little bit more about your journey and Sarah as a person.
And that's honestly, I don't do surface level conversations at all, which is why I think I fell in love with Angi it wasn't surface level. I always want to know, how'd you get here? How did you end up right here, right now? And why are we talking at this time? And so that's easy for me to get deep with people. And part of what I do is build community. I was a personal trainer for 20 years before real estate. And building a community in personal training was easy for me because I would do it around boot camps or just group settings. And getting up early in the morning. I mean, you've got to want to be with the people that you're there for. It's not just because you like to exercise. You have to have a bigger why to get out of that bed. And so building a community made the people want to be there because of the friendships they were forming, because of the camaraderie about the sweating together and just, you'd roll your eyes at whatever we were about to do and just kind of enjoying that hate love of what you were doing. So that was part of, I realized I do that okay. And then when I moved out into South Rockwall, which is even more rural than some of you may think Rockwall is, I realized the houses are really spread apart from one another. And there's got to be a way for people to know that you have a community even out here and that there's friends and neighbors that you may not be able to see all the time because your lots are so large. So doing events was what I was like, well, what can we possibly do to get people out here? And this happened during COVID, by the way. COVID had
everyone who tried to do it during COVID.
There was nothing to do. You couldn't go out. You couldn't go shopping. You couldn't do anything. And so I thought, what could we possibly do to let people know that there are things that you can do? And we thought drive-in movie. So we got a big projector, got the FM transformers and let people go in their car to this large farm, because I'm in a rural area, set up the screen. You could listen to the movie through your radio in your car. We had food trucks if you wanted to get out. But hundreds and hundreds of people came to these events, and we were doing them monthly, and we weren't charging anything, but it got to be so big that the sheriff's department, again, who does like me, by the way, you got to have some crowd control because it was a 2-lane highway and the coming in and going was becoming an issue. So then we had to start charging, but we were charging $5 a car, nothing big. And we were giving that to nonprofits and just letting that money to go to nonprofits. And so that's kind of how I got my name out in event settings, was doing things like that. And I realized it was, again, building community. So it not only in the boot camp and then also bringing people together during COVID was a great thing. Well, then, I tried to combine the two. And so I thought a 5K would be a great idea.
Oh, that's such a monster to try to organize.
Hold on. I don't think I told you this story. So the first 5K I did was out of that same farm that I was doing my movie events. And I thought, oh, we'll just go through the farm and we'll go to a neighborhood and we'll, we had it routed. It was very well run, except it's a 2-lane highway that I had the people running down
Oh my gosh.
to get to the neighborhood. And I had on my, vest or whatever to make sure that cars saw us. And I'm blocking semis. I mean, I'm stopping traffic. And it went well. Nobody was injured. Nobody was hurt.
No one got hit by a car.
Nobody got hit. And after it was over, I got great feedback. People loved it, thought this went well. And I thought, thank God, because I was so stressed, not realizing what I was really undertaking. Then I thought, I should probably get some help the next time I do this. Maybe I should do it in the next city, which happened in McClendon Chisholm, which is in the county of Rockwall. And I had to reach out. Which
existed until I started working out in that way. And it's so cute.
It's a cute area.
Yes,
but it is rural. Yes. And they have a fire station. And so I reached out to them and I was like, okay, I want to do 5Ks, but I'm going to need some help to get the road, figured out. And so the fire chief asked me to come in and let's talk. And so that's when I started going to talk with the fire chief and needed their help. And they've helped me with 5K since then. But I started to get to know him as a person, and I realized these men and women are protecting my valuables, my life, my everything, and I'm not giving them the due respect that I think I should. And I just all of a sudden started to realize what kind of a personality it takes to be a first responder. Yeah. I'm not married to one. I've not really been in that lifestyle, but getting to know them as people and seeing them just jump immediately when that alarm rings and realizing that they don't know what they're about to run into, but they are more than happy to do it because one, that's how they're made, and two, that's what they're trained to do. And I respected that so much that I started to feed them every week. So I would bring food to them every week, which was great. And then we were starting to do these events. And so they became something that I truly loved and wanted to take care of and let them know that we have your back. And so doing that has been a blessing. And it's, again, allowed the community to jump in and help us help them. So that's been very fun. And then we have the Easter event as well.
Yeah, the big mega drop event. So you'll have to follow Sarah on all of her socials to get more information on that, because it's a giant undertaking in its own right. But we have not talked about real estate yet.
Okay.
I know that's
we could do that too.
You're an expert.
Stay tuned. We will be right back with City Lifestyle with Angi Burns after these short announcements. Thank you for tuning into City Lifestyle with Angi Burns. We are committed to being involved in our community and giving back as much as we can. If you would like us to come out and throw a neighborhood block party for your community, please contact us. We bring out bounce houses, DJs, ice cream trucks, and we would love to get your feedback on our publication and introduce you to our highly qualified and vetted advertising sponsors. We do not sell anything at the events. We just come out, throw a party, and get to know our neighbors so that we know how to best serve our community. So let us know if you would like us to come out to your neighborhood. We typically serve our neighborhood for block parties during the months of May, June, July, and October for trunk or treats. So reach out to us at Angi, ANGI.Burns@citylifestyle.com to book your City Lifestyle block party today.
Tell us a little bit about that. We all hear all of these things about how scary it is, the difference between buyer's market, seller's market, and then all of the changes that have happened with the commission structure. Everybody is freaking out over real estate right now. It's a big topic of conversation in the news. It's a big topic of conversation. So can you just clarify some of the fact versus rumor of what is happening in the world of real estate around us right now?
Big picture, the commission, which was a NAR, National Association of Realtors settlement that happened last year. And everybody thought it was going to be a big deal and kind of change and shake up the industry. It's really done nothing, FYI.
Except it weeded out some realtors. From what I've kind of noticed.
I guess so. I mean, there's still a ton of them. I think the lack of business is what's been weeding them out.
Yeah.
But that NAR settlement really did nothing. Texas was doing it right to begin with. And it actually, the lawsuit was in Missouri. And apparently there was some kind of shady spelling out of how commissions were being paid out. And so Texas has always been, here's what we're going to pay, here's who's going to get what, and here's who is paying what. But now they wanted to make sure that we made it even more clear, but they've muddied the waters to kind of dumb it down.
Okay.
So the MLS, the multiple listing service, used to explain that X% is going to the buyer's agent. Well, now we're not allowed to do that for some reason, which is where the muddying of the waters is. But you have to be very clear with your buyers before you even show them a house that you will be paying me or that seller is going to be paying me X amount. And you have to get that in writing. That's what was kind of scary. But if you know how to communicate with a buyer, even if you've never met them and it's the first house, you set their mind at ease and let them know that the seller is typically paying this. You are going to sign this while we go look at the house. But if there is something that comes up and that seller is not able to pay whatever amount we're saying, we're going to work through that. We're going to negotiate that. And it has not stopped anything. It has not changed anything. And pretty much it's still the same 3% to the buyer's agent, 3% to the seller's agent. Just make sure everybody knows it. Okay, that out of the way. Okay. The market right this minute is scaring buyers because they're thinking these rates are not ever going to go down. I can't promise that they will. I think that they will. But here's what I need every buyer to understand. If you are waiting for those interest rates to go down, stop waiting. If you can go ahead and afford the house now, you are going to get the best deal in the world because sellers have been sitting there with their house on the market for months. And the amount that they thought they were willing to take, they're willing to take less now.
Marry the house, date the rate.
Exactly.
Yes.
You fall in love with the house.
Later.
You are going to tell that seller and get a great deal. You're also going to get concessions from them and help buy that rate down for about a year or so. If the rates do go down, you do refinance. If the rates don't go down, you bought the house anyway. You already have a year's worth of equity and you got it at a much lower price than you were going to be able to. So buy the house now. Don't wait. If you do wait for the rates to go down, you're going to have a flood of other buyers and you're going to have competition like crazy. And you're going to be waiting
forever.
You're going to have competition.
You don't ever know when it's going to happen.
Yes.
That was what's so weird with my neighborhood. I live in Murphy, so it's in between all of my territories that I work in. And what we were seeing in our neighborhood is I had a house across the street from me that was on the market for a year. And then I had another house that was on the market for, about 9 months. And before that, it was like flip. Every house was flying off the market like crazy. So my husband and I started just kind of looking around our neighborhood going, can we can we get any of these right now for something way lower and make it an investment property? So is it a good time for investors to jump in right now?
Absolutely.
Because that was our thought is these houses aren't turning. We could probably get them for so much less. And so do you work with investors on that route as well?
I do, exactly. And investors right now are just looking for the deal. The house, if it's been sitting vacant, you want to jump on that house because no seller wants a vacant house. They want the money. They're tired of it if they have a mortgage of paying a mortgage on a house they're not living in. So yes, if you are an investor, if you're cash and don't even have to worry about those interest rates, why are you not jumping out there and getting every deal you possibly can? Because if you plan on holding that house for 3 to 5, maybe 7 years, it used to be 3 to 5 years, you could guarantee you're going to make a profit. Now it's more like 5 to 7 years. Stay there a little while just because of those interest rates. But if the interest rates do drop, again, it's back to 3 to 5 years. That's all it takes in order to be able to turn it, flip it, and make some money on that house. But if you're truly flipping it as far as buying a distressed property, putting the money in, putting it back on the market, you will make that money immediately. So just know who to work with and how to make that investment.
Okay, so I have a couple more questions for you. So what is your best advice for a seller right now?
Don't think that concessions are going to make the buyer come your way. Go ahead and fix the house now. The buyer has options. They're going to go down the street and find the house that is already ready to move into. It's already perfect. So if you're thinking, I don't need to replace the carpet, don't want to paint. I understand your thinking, but you have to do it. You have way too much competition. You have got to make your house as perfect as you can.
People are impulse buyers. They walk in and everything's done and pretty and they're like, this is it.
Exactly.
Versus walking in and going, I have to do the work.
Exactly.
I have to wait for it to be exactly how I want it.
In a seller's market, you can let that stuff slide. In a buyer's market, you have to be perfect.
Great advice. Great advice. Okay, so what is your best advice for a buyer right now? And you kind of already said it. Yeah. Do it now.
Wait.
Yeah, don't
go
wait.
ahead and talk to your lender. Make sure you can afford those rates in case they don't go down. But if you can buy now, go ahead and get the sellers to concede and give you some money and then use the rate when it does drop and refinance.
Okay, last question. Why should buyers and or sellers go with Sarah Naylor?
Hopefully, because I've proven that I do know what I'm doing and I am a true professional. But the main reason is that I am so relationship. It's not a transaction to me. These people become my friends. And I have 100 plus, we'll say, Google reviews that just sing my praises, not because I beg them to, but because we are now friends. We are the best of friends. And I honestly want you to build a community where you live, fall in love with the place that you live, and know that you have somebody there that's going to help get you in as deeply as possible with those roots, and you're going to love it forever.
Love it. So if somebody wants to be your friend, tell us how to get a hold of you, best way to reach you, and where to find out more information about you.
I do have a website, and it's pretty easy, sarahnaylor.com. And then my phone number is 469-442 7402. I'm out and about. I do networking all the time. And so hopefully you'll just see me at an event too.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you being here.
Thanks.
If you are looking for the best place to market your business to our local community, please consider City Lifestyle Publications. I personally own the Allen and Plano territories, but we have over a dozen luxury publications in our area. We are a nationwide brand, so we have over 200 publications across the nation, and we really do value high editorial integrity, beautiful photography, and making sure that your story is told in a respectable and beautiful way. So if you would like to learn more about how to become an advertising partner of City Lifestyle Publications, feel free to reach out to us because we are your ticket in the door to get you face to face with your next client.